keep using the word whirlwind. I've been in Nashville for 13 years, but the last 2.5, 3 years, I'm kind of losing track of time. It has been nonstop. It has been like one blessing after another. It seems like the stars will align, and then you think, all right, well, that might be it, and somehow the stars align again. It's a journey, and it's a great one. It is hard because, I mean, you at times, you say yes to a lot of things, and then a little time goes down the road, and you're like, man, I'm tired. You're trying to keep up, but I have to be very intentional about it. I have to be like, put on my calendar, block no exceptions. I have to do that for myself, because if I'm not finding the time to be grounded and get centered and remember why I'm doing all of this, and staying connected to that, then I can see where you get lost along the way, because it's 90 to nothing. I think there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. I do think it's getting better. And to even say that is a dang shame. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, when I think about like me being in the position that I am here, it's because of what the women before me have done. It's because of folks like Reba and Dolly and Winona and Shania Twain and Faith Hill, and then you got Miranda and Carrie doing it for folks like me. And I got to make sure that I'm doing that for other people too. So I think it's about just going back down those roads and chopping down the weeds, and we're just going to have to continue doing that to see a huge difference. There's a little difference, but we waiting on that big one.
Jimmy Iovine called my manager and said, hey man, Snoop and Dre want Hardy to do a cover of Gin and Juice to help promote their seltzer. And he told me that, and I was like, what? And he was like, bro, I swear to God. I was like, are you kidding me? And dude, the next thing I knew, man, like, I'm on a Zoom call with Snoop and Dre and Jimmy Iovine, and we're talking about like creative directions, and I'm just like, what is going on? But it all worked out, man. We recorded it, and then we went and shot the video out in L.A., and Snoop and Dre came and obviously was in the video. Wild. Snoop called me his nephew, dude. I was like, let's go. I got an Uncle Snoop for life, dude. It was awesome. It was so cool, man. I announced my album tonight, which is not a country album. It's my first full-length rock and roll album, and it's called Quit, and it's freaking dope. And I got Fred Durst on it from Limp Bizkit, and Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers, and a kid named Knox, who I'm really stoked about. But it's 13 songs, and I'm so proud of it. So I'm really excited to finally be able to say some of that stuff.
What made you want to go the rock route?
Man, I kind of have been dipping my toes in that water for a couple of years, and last year I put out a record, and half the record was country and half the record was rock, and I ended up with my first rock and roll #1 off that record, and so I said, let's just jump into it. I love country music, but I've always kind of, my heart has always been rock and roll, and so I've just taken a full step in that direction, and I'm just going to see what, I don't know, dude. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to see what happens.
No, there's always been, I like to be down here, man. There's always been, even back, 50, 60 years ago, there's traditionalists, there's trailblazers, it's always, history is just repeating itself again, and it's great. Everyone, humans like all kinds of music, so it's all really natural that we blend them together,
And it is interesting, too. It's like country music seems to be the home for a lot of different genres. It's like the Eagles, or there's a lot of music that if it came out today, it wouldn't really have a home if it wasn't for country music. So it's really cool that a lot of different genres can find a home.
I think it's just a constant conversation. I mean, I do think that women are unfortunately having to step it up with their quality of music in order to get played, but I think women are more than capable of doing that. We rise to the challenge, and there are so many new women in country music who are making incredible music, and they are getting played, but I don't think probably to the quantity that they deserve.
Should be, yeah. The caliber or the standard for the men and women are very different, but that's okay. We'll accept the challenge and just be great.
Well, I've always been interested in music. I've always been coming up with it. Acting's been my main gig, and after a while, you get tired of not having creative control over anything. So, started to make music and was like, oh, this is a great thing. I get to actually I could do this myself, you know. And yeah, now I get to do both things, which is great. When one thing's not going, I can just flip over to the other one and have a good time.
We're fighting to change it for sure. Yeah.
We've always believed if you work really hard, you're talented, and you stick it out long enough, you're gonna break through. And I think the women that are breaking through right now are so phenomenal. There's so many talented women in country music. It's gonna catch up eventually. We
love listening to women on radio. You know, Shania Twain, Faith Hill, Martina McBride, and so we hope that us and Lainey's doing amazing at radio right now. There's Ashley Cook. There's so many great female voices that need to be heard, and we hope that we can just pave a new path and keep changing it.
Honestly, I feel like one of the things we've noticed is that some of the biggest artists, when they're as big as what Reba is, they're so personable. Like every time you meet them, they're just the most down-to-earth people, and that really, really makes for a great, great entertainer. I think that just to have that kind of she has a charm to her. There's something about Reba.
Very charming.
Yeah, I think she's just a star, and she's transcended not only country music but just like pop culture. I think you don't even have to be a country fan and you know who Reba is. So she's been able to like bridge that gap, and it's been really cool to see.